There's nothing better than getting a radio, plugging it in, you keep your steering wheel controls, you got wireless Apple CarPlay, the screen's big and it looks futuristic, but it fits like an OEM screen in your car. Today we're going to be installing and reviewing the Eonon Q51SE and seeing if you can save a few dollars on a Eonon unit, but still enjoy it. Just a few months ago we put an Android 12 Eonon unit in my show car Mazda 3. And while some people might not want to spend that money in that kind of performance, we might be able to save a little bit of cost for you. With the Q51SE, this is an Android 12 unit with a few lesser specs and a bit better on the wallet. We're going to be unboxing, installing this in the Mazda 3 and see if it still puts up to the task that the other ones would provide. I want to thank Eonon once again for providing me with this radio so I can provide you with some Mazda 3 content once again. I love the Eonon product personally and they look awesome in our cars, so I'm stoked to be doing this. Without further ado, let's get into this. So when you get the box, it's gonna look like the other one. You know it's Eonon, it's got that green, nice branding on it. It's a box, whatever. Let's go ahead and open this up. You're greeted with some instructions, kind of what your model is. Anything like your backup camera installation, stuff like that. Take the top foam layer off and then we're greeted with the beautiful unit itself. All your wiring and everything that you need is gonna be in here. We'll go through this in a second. Here is the Eonon. And there you have it. This is the Q51SE. It's going to look almost, if not exactly the same as our Android 12 units and Q51 unit itself. Very slim design for all the room for the wiring in the back, and all your little plugs and everything that you need are back here. Now when you see all of this, don't be scared. This right here is going to be your GPS model if you like to use Google Maps or anything inside the actual unit itself. If you're not using like Apple CarPlay or Android Auto or something like that with your phone, then this will be useful for your in-unit navigation, which I personally will not be using. USB wire, same thing. Here we have the microphone. Again, this is something if you're going to be using the in-dash Bluetooth in the situation where I'm using Apple CarPlay. Normally it goes by my phone's microphone, but it would be safe to install this anyway. Dash mounting kit for your top LCD screen if you guys want to retain it. This plug is to mainly do with your video and your subwoofer. You have audio in, your audio out. Once we get in the car, I'll kind of show you guys where you need to plug everything and what needs to go on. But you'll notice that from this unit to the Android 12 unit that we previously reviewed, there's actually a lot less wiring. Now that we have it all in front of us, let's go ahead to the car, take out our old radio and put our new one in. So when you hop in the car here, the first thing we're going to want to do is pop this top trim off. Take your glove box down like this and just give this a good yank all the way across. Watch this corner piece here, as this does hook in, so normally you want to kind of slide it out that way. So here we are looking at the radio, and we're going to be taking this out. Now this is going to look different maybe to some of you. I already have an aftermarket unit in here, but it's going to be the same as taking it out. There's two screws at the top, one up here, and there's one up here holding the radio in. You want to take a Phillips screwdriver and remove those two screws. Once you've gone ahead and done that, go ahead and take your unit, take it from the top, and give it a good yank. It'll come straight out just like that. You're gonna have some plugs and stuff in the back that you're gonna need to take out. And then you're gonna have like your main harness plug and probably a couple other plugs you're gonna wanna remove. Once you've unplugged all that, you can get rid of your old radio. Now your LCD screen might be still connected to it, so you're gonna have to remove that as well. Please note that your LCD screen will probably not work if you're a 2004 to 2005, but I still wanna have it connected to the top of the Eonon, just for kind of display purposes, I guess you could say. On your bracket, you're gonna have right and left. And your bracket's gonna point out to the top just like this. Now with your brackets in, it should look something like this. When you put your LCD unit into the top, it'll have these kind of hooks that they sit into. And then up at the top, it'll kind of have the same thing too. Eonon provides new screws that you can go ahead and just plug in. Let's go ahead and plug our harness in. So you're gonna take the main harness that wants to plug into the vehicle's main harness. Now, like I said, you might have some other plugs in the back of here too. This is a 2005 base model, so I don't actually have more plugs for like the LCD screen or anything. So now we have all of this to deal with, but you might not really need to deal with much of it at all. Like I said, you have all your audio ports. It's really up to you if you're gonna use those. For example, this plug right here, the Mazda aux, with all the audio outs, I don't plug this in because I don't have the plug. So let's take our Eonon unit and start plugging everything in. We have a little plug right here into one of the corner out plugs. We have our main harness plug right here. This is gonna go into our far plug. We have a lot of our audio and such cables. Goes into our bottom. This one looks to be our backup camera plug, which will go into our top left. Then we have spots for 2 USBs. So if you wanted to plug in your microphone, you have a black plug right here, and then your GPS plug is just over here. Last but not least, we're gonna take our radio plug, stick it into the far corner, and there you guys have the complete install. Move our wires to the back to plug this in here. Just kind of line it up. And now we have the Eonon plugged in. So now to put your strip back on, take that corner over there, slide it in like the hook, line it up, and just push it in along the way. And now your Eonon is fully installed in your car. Let's go ahead and turn this on and start playing. Boots up pretty quick in about 3 seconds. The other Eonon that we reviewed, obviously again, higher performance, kind of booted up within a quick second. Not a big deal. This is the interface you're going to be greeted with when you first boot the Eonon up. You're going to see, obviously we have our buttons here. There are no actual buttons. It's just touch sensitive. These are very responsive though, so you don't have to really worry about it being too delayed or anything. Up on the left side here, you're gonna notice you have your radio icon. You have your, what I would consider the Bluetooth or media icon. You have Google Maps right here. You have your Bluetooth settings right here for calling and everything. And then you have your app selection right here. Static main screen. You have all your options. You can change your quick play buttons. If you want to put some other apps in here, you can do that as well for when you boot up the system. Your radio interface is clean as always. Like I said, you have your Google Maps. Of course, if you had your GPS set up, then you would be able to use this. Your Bluetooth, if you decide to use Bluetooth on the system instead of Apple CarPlay or anything like that, this is where you would find everything. Now for how quick this is moving through our animations of swiping the screen, it is very snappy. So you don't really seem to lose much in the sense of responsiveness. I mean, this pretty much sticks to my finger. You can download different apps. You can go on Google Chrome, look at the weather. There's so much here for you to play around with. So here we have the color app. We're gonna go ahead and turn our dimmer on, the light switch, which is awesome. Select this, and then we can change our color of the LEDs on the left side, depending on the car's theme. For example, we're gonna pick red because, well, that's pretty much our colors. You watch Netflix, you can link up with your OBD2 scanner with the OBD torque. You watch YouTube, like I mentioned. You have your Play Store here. And then you can also manage your steering wheel controls, but these are actually already set up. You guys won't be able to see, but I'm not touching the screen. But as you guys can see, while I'm pressing my volume button, it changes on the radio, which is awesome that we still have our steering wheel controls. You can connect to your Wi-Fi through your settings, and you have different Wi-Fi settings, your brightness mode, anything that you want, your font sizes, all of that good stuff. And just going through here, you have your general settings that will just kind of make this, you know, how you want your Eonon to be. For example, if you have your reverse camera set up, you can change so many different options, which is really neat. But now that we've kind of fiddled with everything, let's go ahead and connect our Bluetooth and see how the Apple CarPlay performs, because that's my top usage for the Eonon head unit. If we hop in the Bluetooth here, we can go ahead and connect. Just connecting it on my phone here. I'm gonna enter the PIN and I'm gonna click pair. As you can see, it already says pair success, which is really cool and quick. Now that I'm set up here, now we should be able to access Apple CarPlay. You can also play music through the Eonon head unit as well if we want to. You can make calls, look at your contacts, do everything that you need to. To get into Apple CarPlay, we're gonna press this T-Link 5. It's gonna ask you on your phone if you wanna use Apple CarPlay, which you can then accept. And as you can see, we've already loaded up into the Apple CarPlay menu. And here we are on the Apple CarPlay. We're gonna see how quick this is just with the touch of my finger. And swiping through this, it's actually quite responsive, which is really good to see. Going through the maps and fiddling around, the map menu is very smooth, which you don't see often. It's very responsive to my finger and everything that I even need to search or click onto the keyboard, which I'm very actually impressed with this. Now that we've kind of fiddled with our Apple CarPlay and then we see it is quite responsive and a good value for the dollar amount of this head unit. If you guys are big into your music, we have a very advanced equalizer here. Everything down to your EQ. You can do your sound settings per speaker. You have everything from high frequency to compression, anything like your voice and your loudness that you can turn on. Also a bass filter. I like seeing these on these kind of units because these do actually put out a lot more power than your stock unit, so you're going to get really good sound out of this as well. That being said, that is the Eonon unit as is. There's a lot more to go through this. If you guys are a very heavy Android user, then you have obviously unlimited potential with this. But with Apple CarPlay and everything that we have on here, it is very responsive. And I must say that if you guys are looking to save a little bit of money, I think this option is awesome for you. But if you guys really want that performance and top quality, then the other unit might be for you as well. I'm really stoked with how this fits in the car, especially in the beater. It's not the nicest car to put this Eonon head unit in, but I'm super stoked to be daily driving something with this kind of technology in it. Like I said, it fits nice. It looks good as well. There's nothing wrong with it that I can see, and it performs quite well from what I've tested so far. And if you guys pair it up with like the GPS unit, you guys can put like the backup camera on these, have it to your reverse signal and everything. It just really completes this head unit and kind of what it's made for. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I think this one's gonna be good for someone that wants to cut budget and doesn't need as much as some other people do. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like. Other than that, keep it real. I'll see y'all in the next one.